Kelly, would you like to talk to us?
Yeah, well, I think probably most of the people here sort of know my story, but I want to give two short stories about Bill and Larry, which I find really interesting. So the other night, I'm on a chemo regimen where it's starting to cause a lot of nausea, and I haven't had that up until this point. So I never want to bother Larry. So we were just talking as friends the other night, and I started off the conversation, not feeling so great. And then, literally halfway through our conversation, I stopped and I said, "You know what? That nausea's gone." He goes, "That's funny how that happens, isn't it?" And I realized that little crazy guy, he was working on me the whole time, but unbeknownst to me. He was so sweet.
He's a
That,
sneaky healer.
he's a sneaky healer. That's right. And you don't know, I am so beyond grateful. That's just one of a million stories. And then Dr. Bill, like a year or so ago, I was going to the store in the rain with flip flops on, schlepping through the parking lot, and I slipped and rolled my ankle. I mean, like I could not walk on that ankle. Went to the emergency room and they were like, "Yep, you sprained your ankle." Came home, and I was calling Dr. Bill because we were trying to collaborate on a TV show with Bill and Larry and I. And I was telling him, "Look, I can't get much work done tonight. I hurt my ankle." And he said, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry." And we finished the conversation. I hung up, and I kid you not, it was on a Saturday. Literally 2 hours later, I could not get on my feet at all. 2 hours later, I thought, I've got to go to the ladies' room. So I sort of scooted out of bed and tried to put pressure on my ankle, and I could completely walk. I mean, there was nothing wrong with my ankle anymore. So I said to my husband, I walked out, I had my video camera going. I said, "Look at this." He goes, "What are you doing walking?" I said, I talked to Dr. Bill, and now all of a sudden I'm walking." So I called Bill and I said, "Did you fix my ankle?" And he said, "I hope you don't mind." I said, "Holy cow." Literally the boot, the cast thing they gave me, I didn't need anything. So I'm here to tell you that these two have saved my life countless times. I mean, but Larry,
Tell us your situation, what you've had to deal with the past few years.
okay, so Natasha knows Yana. Yana was a very precious friend of mine who was this amazing psychic medium. And we were working on this television show that we were going to incorporate Larry and Bill into. And we were on Skype. She was living in London, or not London, UK, but a little city. I can't remember the name. So we were Skyping, and she had been trying to tell me that for the past few months that I needed to go to the doctor. Something was wrong with my kidney. And I said, "No, Yana, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with my kidney." And finally, in June of 2019, she looked at the camera and with tears rolling down her face said, "Kelly, there is something wrong with you. You have to go to the doctor. And if you don't go in the next 3 months, it's going to be too late." And I thought, holy cow. I just had a PAP, transvaginal ultrasound, every test you can imagine came back fine. And at this point, I was talking to Larry and Bill, and I introduced them to Yana, and she instantly connected to those two. I mean, she kept saying, whatever you do, don't ever lose contact with those. You guys are going to all be very good friends for the rest of your life. Make sure you stay in contact with them. So since nothing technically was wrong with me, I had to make up a fib. And I told my doctor I was bleeding, and I was not. Well, that got me right in. So when I went into the doctor, they did a PAP, and they said, "Well, let's just do a biopsy." They happened to do a biopsy, and 2 weeks later called, and there were cancer cells. They fast tracked me to get a CT scan, which showed 3 tumors, one on my colon, one in my abdomen, and one on my kidney. That's what Yana was seeing, the kidney. And so they scheduled me for a radical hysterectomy. And the entire time, Bill and Larry were working with me. And I have to backtrack, by the way. When I talked to Yana and she said, "You need to get to the doctor," I said, "What's wrong with me? Is it my lung? I mean, what's going on?" And she said, "I don't know. Talk to Larry." So I talked to Larry, and Larry said, "You need to go have a pelvic exam." So Larry literally saved my life too, because it would have taken 3 months just to find out what was wrong. So I had the surgery, and it was okay, but there was one there were some cancer cells in a lymph node in my abdomen, so they needed to start chemo. So I did chemo. Bill and Larry got me through that the first time. Then I went through a little bit of radiation, and I was in remission for 9 months. And then they tried to put me on a drug called Keytruda. That caused pneumonitis, which once again, Larry and Bill, good Lord, got me through that. And so now here I am on a chemo regimen that has worked well. My latest PET scan came back basically clear. So my doctor said, let's just do one more round of this particular chemo regimen, and that should put you into remission. But literally, I talk to Larry every day, but between Larry and Bill, when he's available, those two, I will just tell you, the power of the healing is amazing. And if you ask them, how do you do it? People want to know, how do you do it? They cannot explain it, but who cares? Because it works, right? That's the thing. Who cares how they do it? It works. So the only sadness, and I will say, I feel a little protective of Larry and Bill, because it's like, I kind of want to put them in a little genie bottle, put the cap on, not tell the whole world, because I don't want them to become overwhelmed. But then I realize there's so many people that need them, which is why I want to produce a healing show about them, right? Not only do they have this great camaraderie, but they're so they're just amazing. And I know that the TV show will go up like gangbusters because they're amazing. I mean, yeah, they literally have saved my life. Literally. Yeah. So the way I'm going to repay them is making them superstars.
Going to make us superstars.
Oh,
I want to make you guys superstars. That's right.
Thank you.
People are going to follow you on the street.
Kelly's one of my best friends, has become that.
Yep.
Great treasure.